Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Red Wine Talking. My name is Cheryl Ann, otherwise known as Red Wine.
And I'm Sandy, otherwise known as Sandy. I need a moniker. I need a name.
Yes, you do.
We'll
We're
think
gonna
about
have to
it.
think about that
Yeah,
for sure.
when I'm sober. I'll do that.
So I invited Sandy on to the show. She has become a very close friend of mine. I wanted her to interview me. I wanted her to be able to ask me the questions that I needed to answer to enlighten all of you on breast cancer. I wanted you to be aware. I wanted to share this story during the month of October. I wanted to close off the month of October with breast cancer awareness for all of my viewers.
Something that's near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm gonna start off by asking you, how long ago were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed, and I didn't remember for quite some time how long ago I was diagnosed. And I looked at my Facebook memories and I realized it was 7 years ago in 2013. So that's how I try to remember it. I try to remember with that 13, which is supposedly the unlucky number.
In some cultures.
Yes, yes, supposedly. So I remember it by that. 2013 I was diagnosed.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's been a while.
It has. It has. It has.
And how was the cancer detected?
The cancer was detected by my regular mammogram that I started doing every year for quite a few years, and I had fallen back because I was like maybe like 6 months overdue for my test. And my daughter, I wanted her to get like checked for her pap smear, and I decided to change doctors so that we can do it where we live. And we went in and I did my regular checkup there, and that doctor prescribed the mammogram, and when I went for the mammogram is when it was detected. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in two minds about telling my daughter, because remember she was with me in that appointment, but yeah, they did the mammogram, and right away they had me waiting for a period of time,
Wow.
and that alarmed me because I was like, never have they have me wait for results. And when they came in and they pulled me into a separate room, and the doctor showed me my results on the computer screen, and she showed me dots in my breast, and she said something that was clear as day. She said, "This is never good." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was strange.
Yeah. She said, "This is never good. We're gonna have to set you up with a biopsy because these are signs of the," and she called it, she said, ductal carcinoma in situ. And I asked her, what does that mean? She's like, it looks like if it's contained in the ducts. So I was like, wow, okay. She said, but I could be wrong, which is why we're gonna do the biopsy. We're gonna schedule the biopsy, and that's exactly how it was detected. Yeah.
So how did you feel?
I felt like I wanted to lose my mind. But when I got home and I told hubby about it, he was like, well, let's not lose your mind just yet. Let's not do that because we still have to go through the biopsy period. So let's wait until then.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so he calmed me down a bit. He did. And I was like, okay, I'm worrying over something that I really don't really truly know the result of just yet. So let me wait.
That is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go a little bit off here. What did you tell? How did you tell your children?
Wow, good question. Very good question, because Sydney and I, the whole family, had watched Stepmom a few years ago, a few years before that,
Right.
and we cried so much together during that movie.
That movie was
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Stepmom is about a mom having cancer, having to deal with a stepmom, a whole family. And she said to me, Sydney had said to me, Mom, if you ever have cancer, do not try to protect me by not telling me.
Right. Let me know.
Let me know. Let me know. She said, don't ever try to do that. So I was in two minds still. I'm like, I don't know if she can handle this, but I knew that she would just kill me
If you
if
did.
I didn't tell her, and she found out through some other way. So I did tell her. I told her, this is what's going on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now everybody knows, and you know your diagnosis. Did you have any other support network or?
Yes, because when I did the biopsy, I had to wait for quite some time when I did the actual biopsy, and I had to wait some time for the actual results.
Right.
I remember getting the results at work. My support network was, a lot of it was from the people at work.
Wow.
I remember getting that phone call, moving to a separate office to take the phone call from my doctor, and she said to me that they did find cancer, and I broke down in tears when she said it. There is no explanation, there is no way you can begin to explain getting that
The
type of
feeling.
news. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said it is cancer, but good news, it's contained in the ducts. I have doctors for you to call, for you to figure out how you're gonna do the surgery to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that information while I was
In shock.
crying and in shock. And my girlfriend at the time, she could tell because she sat right next to me, Trina, bless her heart. She came into the office with me. She knew I was waiting on the results. Quite a few people at work knew I was waiting on the results. I went in the office, I got the results. She gave me the doctor's information, the surgeon information, everything. And I started bawling my eyes out, and Trina and I went into the bathroom crying. I don't think I had called my hubby just yet. I don't think so. And we just sat in the bathroom, like just accepting it
processing your
and
emotion.
processing it and crying. Yeah. It was tough.
And how did hubby react when you told him?
When I called hubby because he happened to work very close to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I called him and I told him, and he's like, he breathed, he totally breathed like a sigh, and then he gathered himself and he said to me, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know yet. I think maybe I should go home because I don't know how I'm going to function. I don't know how I'm going to function right now throughout the rest of my work day. And he's like, okay, do you want me to come and get you? Because we used to drive together to work.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, if you can, yes, come and get me.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That
he
must
did.
have been a long drive.
Yeah, it was a long drive home. It was basically a 30-minute drive home, and it was basically spent in silence. Just
Because it was more
processing
shock than anything
Yes,
else.
just processing it. I remember going to my boss before going home. She's a darling at the time, and and she cried with me. I went into her office and I gave her the news. She knew I was waiting on the news, and she pulled out a box of tissues, and both of us cried together. So my support system didn't just lie at home, it really lied at work as well. They were remarkable. They were awesome. I couldn't have picked a better work family to go through that process with.
Now, at the time, did you work with a lot of women, or was it
I worked
mostly
with
women?
I worked with a lot of women, but I worked for a lot of men.
And
I did.
did they know
Most
where they
of
were?
my guys, I didn't tell them until after the fact, and they were very supportive. I remember them just telling me each and every time, stay positive, keep positive. You are naturally a positive person.
That's true.
Yes. So stay with that, keep with that. It is what is going to get you through. Yeah, they were great.
And once again, what do you think got you through it? Was it just basically support from your family, your friends, work, your husband, or just your thought process? What do you think got you through
A combination.
Of all.
It was a combination because I remember when I finally got home, and some of the other work people getting the news, and I remember them messaging me and calling me, and it felt really good to know that they cared that deeply, to message me, to call me, to say, hey, you know, we're thinking about you, we're here for you, you know, whatever you need, it's gonna be okay, you know. That helped big time. Even though while I was responding to the messages, I was crying my eyes out, it really made a difference. Just for people to reach out and say, we're here for you.
It helps. You do need a network,
Yes.
a positive network.
Yes, support network is huge.
So if you don't mind me asking, so you get a diagnosis, you have the surgery, how did you feel after that?
Wow. After the surgery, I felt like, if, oh my God, is this cancer really over? I started going past that point. I did. But I remember going through the pain of the drains and the everything while I was home, and some of my friends coming over to visit.
I was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember thinking, wow, you know, the support system is so important for you to be able to tell people, for you to be able to get that encouragement and that optimism and that positivity from others. It helps to keep you going. It really does. It really does. It does.
So that does help.
It really does. It does.
So I have one other question, because I know, you know, breast cancer is always about women. And what would you tell men about breast cancer? Like, what message would you give them? What would you have them tell the women in their lives? What would you say to them? Because I mean, it's not just about us. And you know, it has to do with sex, because, you know, these are the organs that they like, you know, so what would you tell them about?
Wow, very good question. Again, I want to let the men know that you should be there 100% of the way for your significant other. My husband did all of the doctor visits with me, all of them. My daughter wanted to do it, and sometimes when I look back, I think to myself that I may have left her out, because she wanted to be involved. She's like, Mom, I want to go to all of the doctor visits with you. But she did feel comfortable when I told her that her father was going, that my husband was going. She felt very comfortable. And it's good to have him go with you.
Right.
Guys, if you can go with your significant other for these visits, because you know you have all the questions that you should ask. we as the patient, as the cancer, as a cancer patient, we sometimes get overwhelmed with all of the information that's being given to us, and we don't know the right questions to ask. So hubby came in very handy in regards to that. He asked questions that I didn't think about asking, and we went through quite a few doctors, and it's okay to go through the different opinions before you get comfortable with whoever is going to do your surgery. Absolutely. I remember the first doctor telling us, well, let's just go in and do a lumpectomy. Let's not even worry about anything else, and then just move on from there. And I thought to myself, well, what if this has traveled to any other part of my body? So we started checking into other doctors, and other doctors were like, yes, let's check the lymph nodes. Let's see if it's gone anywhere else. And I remember going finally to, and I'm not one for female doctors. And when I say I don't have to have a female doctor as my OBGYN, but I remember a doctor that came recommended to us, and she's the one that I connected with the most. She's the one that I felt like she knew exactly what I was going through. She knew exactly what I needed. A lot of the doctors suggested a lumpectomy. I wanted to go down the aggressive mode.
Absolutely.
I decided on a mastectomy, even though they were saying I can get away with a lumpectomy. I decided on a mastectomy. I thought about a mastectomy for my both breasts because I thought I didn't want to go through this again.
Of course.
And finally I decided on a mastectomy on my right side where the breast cancer was detected. So, and I was very happy with that. I was very, very happy with that. There's no problem in calling someone that you know that has been through the same thing as well. And I did that when I was kind of toying with the idea. I called one of my co-workers. She had gone through it. And I called her. I said, what do you think? And she gave me the best advice. She's like, you know what? I went through it. I made my decision. But it's totally up to you and what you are feeling and what you decide. So I went with my heart. I totally went with what I thought was best for me.
And you made the right decision.
I think so.
And you have no regrets.
I think so. Yeah, I have zero regrets. I mean, I decided. I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to talk about this because I don't like to talk about things like these.
You're just private, and you want everybody to see the fun side of you.
Yes,
but there are other sides of her.
I like being positive, and but I decided to go through with it because I recently had my mammogram. And I got the results this morning. So guys, we have to celebrate. I got the results this morning where I was okay for yet another year.
Yeah.
So I called Sandy. I said, Sandy, we need to do this right now. We need to have this interview right now. So Mark Dobson said to me, he's asking on this interview, has it changed the way you live life? And if so, how? Very valid question, Mark Dobson.
And we'll both answer it.
Yes.
And I can tell you, she's a lover. I'm not saying she wasn't a lover of life before, but now she is just all about positivity and doing what she wants to do and just saying, you know what, I'm only here once. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to enjoy life. And I do see that change in her since then. Like she's just, Charlana's just like, you know what, let's go for a drink, let's go party, let's dance, let's hang out. It's the middle of the week. I don't care. Yeah. Yes,
I have always been a liver of life and a lover of life, but since this has happened, I am even more so.
Yeah.
I am even more so. I do what I want to do. I just want to live life to its fullest because I feel like I don't know if this is my last day. I don't know. I really don't know.
But even if you do know,
yeah,
you could just say, you know, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
done it.
I love my people. I love my life, and I live it. I live it just like that. I live it just like that. Oh, Miranda, good question. How did my son handle it? Very good question. Because I remember, very good question. I remember telling my daughter, and she was very worried. And I remember telling my son, and he came into the bedroom where hubby and I were laying, and he said to me, he's like, Mommy, I spoke to Sydney, and she's my daughter, his sister. She's like, and the first thing I asked her was, well, she's gonna live, right? Mommy's gonna live. And Sydney was like, yeah, it looks like it looks like it. And he's like, well, that's all I care about. Aww. All I care about is that you're gonna live. And he's like, that's all I need to know. But yes, but I also remember when I was going through the surgery, and I came home, and we were talking about something, and my son was looking for popsicles in the refrigerator, and there was none. And Sydney said to him, she said to him, Sean, you're looking for popsicles, and Mommy has cancer, and she's trying to get over it, and you're worried about popsicles. And she lost it. Yeah, she lost it. And it was really funny. It was nice how concerned she was. But boys are like that. You know, they're very practical, and we women are very emotional. So,
and maybe that was his way to processing.
Yes.
And dealing with it.
Yeah. He really just wanted to know that I was gonna live. He's like, well, are you gonna die or are you gonna live? And I said, I'm gonna live. He's like, all right, whoa.
More food for me.
Yes. Wow. So I also wanted to take the time to read for you something that I wrote while going through cancer, just to close the show, and I actually wrote it because every time someone dies of cancer, I feel like if something inside of me dies a little bit, because I always wonder, like, wow, how is it that I survived? How is it that I'm surviving? How is it that
survivor's guilt?
I definitely feel that. So I wrote this, and I want to read it for you guys before I go. So I headed it off as cancer is evil. I said that. Yeah. So then I went on to say, it is scary. If I ever get it again, I pray that it's manageable, like the first time. There is not a moment in time that I feel I've escaped or that I beat it, which is why I never talk about it. It haunts me. It taunts me. I worry about every pain I feel in my body, but I won't let it prevent me from living. So I live. I live with every fiber of my being. I do the things I want to do, and I do the things I need to do, while worrying about how my son would handle it if his mother weren't here to nurture him, while worrying about if my daughter will ever get over losing her mother, while worrying about whether or not my husband will ever get over losing the love of his life, while worrying about my mom and if she will die in sorrow because she had to bury her favorite child. And my sisters and brothers, how do you grieve the loss of your favorite sibling? anyway, I dream of cancer and it being the end of me. I do. I throw it out of my mind every time it appears, but oh, it's very persistent. Not a day passes by that I don't think about it, but I choose another thought to take precedence each and every time. If not, it will drain me. It's not easy sometimes, but I am here and alive. And every time someone dies of cancer, I think to myself, how is it that I survived? Why am I that chosen one? So I shine, so that others can see that shining as our true, genuine, unique selves is what gives us joy, happiness, and true love. I pray that I continue to survive and that I thrive while I'm here, because I love this thing called life. And if there's anything I can do to help anyone go through the ferocious fears and the inexplicable anxiety that I go through, I am a phone call away, waiting to give you the strength that I've gained and help you feel the faith that I now feel with each and every moment that I am still alive.
I love that. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Ladies, please get tested. And then please encourage the women in your lives to get tested.
Early detection is key, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Hugs and kisses. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much.
Anytime, honey, anytime.